Please say prayers with me, you know. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya
Bhishtam
Manoਭीष्टं
स्थापितं
स्थापितं
येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथां तं सजीवं
साद्वैतं
साद्वैतं
सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं
सावधूतं
श्री
परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
राधा
श्रीराधाकृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखांश्च
कृष्ण हे कृष्णा
हे
करुणा
कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते
गोपेश
गोपेश
गोपिकान्ता
गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता
राधाकान्ते
नमोस्तुते
तप्त
तप्त
कांचना
कांचन गौरांगी राधे
गौरांगी
वृंदावनेश्वरी
वृषभानुसुते
वृषभानुसुते
देवी
देवी
प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा
कृपा
सिन्धुभ्यैव च
सिन्धुभ्यः
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर
गदाधर
श्रीवासादि गौर
गौर
भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
हरे हरे राम राम राम
हरे हरे
मूकं करोति वाचालं
कालं
पङ्गुं लङ्घयते
लङ्घयते
गिरिं
गिरिं
यत्कृपातमहं
यत्कृपातमहं
वन्दे
वन्दे
श्रीगुरुं
श्रीगुरुकारणं
दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं
परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्ण चैतन्य
श्रीकृष्णचैतन्येश्वरं
ईश्वरम्
गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय
गुरुचन्द्राय
राधिकाय
राधिकाय
तदालये
तदालये
कालये
कृष्णाय
कृष्णाय
कृष्णभक्ताय
कृष्णभक्ताय
तद्भक्ताय
कृष्णाय
नमो
तद्भक्ताय
नमो
नमो
नमः
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 हरे
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone again for joining. So, for our newcomers, uh, thank you again. You know, congratulations on associating with devotees, and we are very grateful. Also, it's not easy to find people in this world that want to explore their spirituality, or that want to join hands in walking the spiritual path. But as spirit souls, as spiritual living entities, we need a lot of help in this world. As you will see in the verse today that we are discussing, we need a lot of help from people around us to walk together on this path. Because material world is material, and it's very difficult to be spiritual in material world. It will always cause distractions, disturbances. It will bring fears, anxieties, and so it keeps you engaged in its physicality, in its materialness. Some problem or the other will keep coming: body related, family, job related, money related, home related, community related, something or the other, or if nothing else, weather or climate or wars or terrorism or COVID or something or the other will keep going on. So material world will keep you entangled and keep you distracted, so that it becomes very difficult to focus on the spiritual path. So we need a lot of help to keep each other encouraged, inspired, focused, and we have to be each other's cheerleaders. We have to root for each other as we walk this path. Just like you have cheerleaders on the sports field, because it's not easy. People become disappointed. People become discouraged. They become tired. If in a sports field, people can become tired when it's their gross body they're dealing with. Imagine how much tired one will get when we are dealing with subtle body. So we are here in spiritual studies, we will see that we are dealing with actually our subtle body. We are fighting with our mind, intelligence, ego, which mind, intelligence, ego, man, buddhi, ahankar makes the subtle body. So those are even a harder fight, because it's very difficult to see the difference. Sometimes people say, I've been chanting for so long, but I don't see any difference in my anger, or I still get irritated. I still get impatient. I still have cheating propensity. I still have greed or lust, um, not being honest, many, many things, whatever problem one is dealing with. Different people have different problems, but it's not getting any better. So we are fighting on a subtle level, and those differences are very difficult to see. So so it's very easy to get discouraged very quickly. And so Prabhupada used to say that people don't be surprised when people join Krishna consciousness. Be surprised when people stay in Krishna consciousness, because not many stay. In order to stay, one needs very good association of devotees. Um, and of course, other things also, chanting, reading, hearing, following certain rules, certain regulative principles, yes. But most important is the association of devotees, actually. So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for giving this association. We have this tool of online association, virtual tool. So we need to use everything that we can use in this material world in service of Krishna, in service of devotees. So thank you for giving your association like this. And again, for newer people, I don't know what's your a journey so far, your spiritual journey so far. All of us are on a journey, and we're all at different levels. And my only request is to just stay connected. In the beginning, the knowledge can be difficult to understand. The words can be confusing. We may not be familiar with the lingo, because we are imagine you're learning a different language altogether. That's how I used to think when I would sit in these classes in the very beginning, that we are learning a new language altogether. And so many words will be new, unfamiliar, many terminologies or concepts, many lies that the world tells us, that we have grown up learning, many lies, many concepts, many philosophies, that we have grown up learning. Those lies will be shattered for us. So sometimes it can be difficult to digest. But I assure you, it's a very beautiful journey. And if one sticks to the path, then you will see the transformation. But we just have to put all our, start new, put our previous conditionings, previous perceptions, previous experiences, understandings aside just for a little bit, to just open your heart, open your mind to this new, maybe I don't know, but maybe new concepts, new terminologies. But it changes heart. It is powerful. So with that, anybody else wants to say anything before we get into the verse 4? Nagarchand Prabhu, Rekha Mataji, Namita Mataji, Ramesh Prabhu, or new people. Anybody wants to say anything, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Now to all devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Just for the people who are joining, I know we have a lot of people who are here for long also, so we won't take too much time from their continuation. But just few, as we talk to everybody, even like somebody sometimes younger than us, and so please don't be offended. We call everybody as Prabhuji and Mataji, because it's the way to give respect to the soul. And Prabhu is we are really paying. So we are all souls, and we call them, in this language of Bhagavad Gita, we call conditioned souls. Conditioned souls meaning that we are the souls and we are currently in this material body. So anybody who has questions about all this is we can have separate discussions about these things also. So feel free to get in touch in case you have certain questions. After the class, we'll of course leave some time for questions, and feel free to ask that time also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's get started. We'll go to verse 4, Nectar of Instruction, verse 4. Please recite. I'll lead and follow. We'll lead and follow this verse. Dadati pratigrinati.
Dadati pratigrihಣāti
Guhyam akhyati pritchati. Guhyam
Guhyam
akhyati
akshati
pritchati.
prichyati.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva. Bhunte
Bhunte
Bhukte
bhojayate
bhavyate
chaiva.
chaiva.
Shadvidham priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham
Shadvidam
priti
priti
lakshanam.
lakshanam.
I think I've told you before, the first 4 verses are memory verses. That means we should try to memorize them. So we are on verse 4. I'm hoping that everybody is trying to memorize the first 3 verses so far. But let's focus on this verse. Who wants to recite and will follow after you? Let's take a few turns.
I can start. Dadati pratigehnati.
Dadati pratigrhinati.
Guhyam akhyati pritchati.
Guhyam akhyati prithati.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Shadvidham priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham
Priti
lakshanam.
Lakshanam.
Anyone else?
Mataji, I can try.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Tadati pratigrhanati.
Dadati
Dadati
pratigrehnati.
pratigrhinati.
Guhyam akhyati prachati.
Guhyam
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 akhyati
akhyati
pritchati.
akhyati.
prichyati.
Bhunkate bhojyate chaiva.
Bhunte
Bhunte
Bhukte
bhojayate
bhavyate
chaiva.
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 Satvidham priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham priti
Shadvidam
lakshanam.
priti lakshanam. Dadati pratakshati.
Okay, who else to recite?
I can go, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Dadati pratigrihanti.
Dadati
Dadati
pratigrehnati.
pratigrhinati.
Pratigrhanti.
Guyam akhyati prachati.
Guhyam
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 akhyati
akhyati
pritchati.
prachati.
Bhungte bhojayate chaiva.
bhunte
Bhunte
Bhukte
bhojayate
bhojayate
bhavyate
chaiva.
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 Pradvidham priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham
Shadvidam
priti
priti
lakshanam.
lakshanam.
So remember that when A has a line on it, so these are diacritics. Since it's difficult to translate or use Devanagari or Sanskrit into uh, correct English, so we use diacritics, and these are used in many denominations, like other scriptures also do that, and many other languages also do that. When you're trying to learn other languages, you will see that they also use diacritics when converting into English. So any language that has a different lipi, then they use these diacritics to convey the proper pronunciation in English. So A, when it has a line on it, then it becomes A. So it's a long A or A. Okay. So this is the basic one to understand. N, when it has dot underneath, it becomes Granati, like that. And so this one becomes Akhyati. So it's not Akhyati or Akhyati, it's Akhyati. Guhyam Akhyati. So N, bung, this can be just na. It's like ang sound, bungte. And this is shad. So S with dot underneath becomes sh. Shad. Vidam priti lakshanam. So again, lakshanam, like that. Okay, who would like to recite next? We can have a couple more.
I would like to, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Dadati pratigrinati.
Dadati pratigrinati.
Guhyamakyati pritchati.
Guhyam akhyati pritchati.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Shadvidam priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham priti lakshanam. Maybe one more devotee wants to recite?
Yes.
Mataji,
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Dadati pratigrinati.
Dadati
Dadati
pratigrinati.
pratigrinati. Guhyam akshati prachati.
Guhyam
Bhukte
akhyati pritchati.
Bhukte bhojyate chaiva.
Bhunte bhojayate chaiva.
Shadvidam priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Ramesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Dadati pratiganati
Dadati Pratigrinati
guhyam akyati prachati
Guhyam Akhyati Prichati
bhunkte bhojaya yate chaiva
Bhunkte Bhojayate Chaiva
shadvidam priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam. Okay, let's read this. Someone wants to read this translation?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes.
Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasada, and offering prasada are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Haribo.
Very bold. So this verse, let's look at the breakdown of Sanskrit. So, this is the beauty of Prabhupada's books, that Prabhupada has given us synonyms for each and every Sanskrit word. Whether it's Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, he has given synonyms for each word. Then he gives translation, and then he gives a detailed meaning with all types of understandings in the modern context and Vedic references. He will give references from various other scriptures, from various Upanishads and Puranas. He will give many shlokas to as references to cite in supporting that verse, in supporting a point. So then he gives a long purport, you can see. So this is the style with all Prabhupada's books. So let's relish this Sanskrit. It's easy to understand, and so this verse is easy to memorize actually. So the dati means to give. Okay. Pratigrinati means to accept something in return, like to take something. So to accept something in return. The dati pratigrinati. Guhyam, as you may remember from Bhagavad Gita, Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter that this knowledge that I have given in Bhagavad Gita is the most confidential knowledge. He says this is the king of all confidential knowledge. It's Raj Guhyam. It's not just Guhyam, it's Raj Guhyam. And somewhere else he says Guhyam Guhya Tara. It's not only confidential, it's Guhya Tara, it's Guhya Tamam. So in Sanskrit, when it goes like this, Guhyam, Guhyatara, Guyyatamam, that means it's more confidential, it's most confidential. So he says this is Guyyatamam knowledge. So Guhyam means secret. Akhyati Prichati. So Akhyati means he inquires, he asks about Akhyati. Prichati means, Prichati means asks about, and Akhyati means tells. So you tell and you ask about confidential, meaning secrets of each other. So you basically share your heart with each other. You share confidences with each other. You share your personal various personal aspects with each other. So the dati pratigranati, to give gifts and to accept gifts. Guhyam akyati prichati, to share confidential information with each other. Bhunkte bhojayate chaiva. Bhunkte means to eat, and bhojayate means to feed. So you eat from other people and you feed them also in return. So you give them prasad and you accept prasadam from them. Shad vidham priti lakshanam. Priti means love. Okay, love or prem, loving exchanges. These are the lakshan, means these are the symptoms of 6 types of symptoms of love between devotees. So this verse, so far we were talking about living in this body, living in this world as a soul. Then we understood that we have to stay alive in devotional service. So the third verse ended with Utsahan Nishchaya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartanat Sang Tyaga Sato Vritte Shadvir Bhakti Prasiddhiti. So Rup Goswami had given us 6 things that help to nourish the bhakti, that help to flourish the bhakti. So you understand, you have to be in devotional service. You have to walk this path. You have to walk this spiritual journey. Now he's telling us a sato vritte. You should follow in the footsteps of devotees. You should walk with the devotees. You should associate with the devotees. And if you all know A, B, C, D, E, the first A, the A is association. What is the ABCD of Krishna consciousness? Who can tell? ABCDE of Krishna consciousness. What are those things? A stands for?
Association with devotees.
Yes, perfect. B,
For books.
Books.
books, right? So reading books or scriptures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. B stands for books. C,
Chanting.
chanting. So holy names, japa, chanting of the holy names. D,
DT service.
DT service. Yes. D stands for DT worship, Archana. E,
I don't know.
Eating
Mataji.
prasadam. Eating prasadam,
Eating
Mataji.
prasadam.
yeah, E stands for entering the dham.
Oh,
So the dham means of visiting temples, visiting for even when we do these programs, festivals. So visiting those, is any of the anywhere where the Lord is being glorified and celebrated. So a dham, a temple, a festival, a program like that. So entering the dham. So enter in those places. That's why we encourage participation and celebration of these festivals. So A, B, C, D, E. But the A stands for Association of Devotees. So association, because we always have to be in company of like-minded people, and that is something which is recommended even in material spheres, right? If somebody is it's a studious child, then he should be with other studious kids in order to get good grades. If somebody is a tennis player, then he would have to practice with other tennis players in order to perform well in his field. So in any field, we always recommend networking with the like-minded people or joining hands with the like-minded people, right? People that have the same goal, same interest in mind. So since devotees have the same goal, they all have same interest. They have invested their life in advancing towards Krishna, in spiritualizing themselves, in living a spiritual life. So in company of devotees, the devotional service becomes easy. So that is why in verse 4, Rup Goswami is telling us, okay, now you know that you have to perform devotional service. You have to stay alive in devotional service with determination and enthusiasm, patience, all those things. Follow the rules and regulative principles, follow in the footsteps of acharyas, give up the association of worldly people, all that. But now, how do you experience rasa in bhakti? How do you experience taste in bhakti? So this verse actually gives you that taste, because the taste comes from relationship. So this path is not like it's not like a very dry path. It's not a very dreary, dull, detachment, and so there is nothing to do, just sit in meditation. It's not that kind of path. This is actually a very very wonderful, very full of loving, intimate exchanges. Because ultimately, through this path, what are we trying to do? We are trying to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. Last time I asked you all a question, that who wants to establish their relationship with Krishna in this life. That is the perfection of life, to re-establish your relationship. So in order to establish a relationship with Krishna, we first need to develop good relationships with each other in our community, through this virtual association, in-person association. And Rup Goswami is giving us the sutra, the principles of how to have a good association, how to develop tasteful, loving, beautiful, intimate relationships with devotees. Okay, because that is very dear to Lord. Actually, in many places in Bhagavatam, but especially one particular place that we have discussed in the past, in his conversation with Prachetas. So Bhagwan gave darshan to Prachetas under the water, under the sea. He came when they did a lot of tapasya. He came and he told them, the first thing he told them is that I'm very happy, I'm very pleased by your cooperation with each other, your loving exchanges, your friendships with each other. That's the first thing he tells them. I don't know if you all remember that class. We did that class a few months back, about how to develop a proper Vaishnav community, a spiritual community of like-minded people, of devotees, where people have very beautiful, loving relationships with each other. So there is no malice, there is no envy, there is no grudges, there is there is only the feeling of you're well wishers for each other, you're uplifting each other, Nobody's trying to hurt anyone else. Forget about hurting. I mean, that is not even something that's a consideration in a Vaishnav community. Forget about hurting. We're trying to please each other. We're trying to extract some mercy from each other. We're trying to get encouragement from each other, share our realizations with each other. So Krishna says that in Bhagavatam many times, especially in that particular episode of Prachetas. But in Bhagavad Gita also he says, if you remember, who can tell me, where does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita that what do my devotees do when they meet with each other? What does he expect from us? Krishna tells us in many places. He tells in Bhagavad Gita actually his expectations from us. But there is one specific verse that I'm looking for, which is very famous. Yes, Nagarjuna Prabhu. In Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say?
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Yes, do you know the verse?
It's in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. I think 10.9, is it?
Yes.
And it's
Matchitta
Matchitta matgata prana bodhyanta parasparam katyantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Very bold. Yes. So that is Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Chaturshloki means there are 4 verses in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna, which is considered the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Those 4 verses, out of those 4 verses, this is one of the verses where he says, Matchitta madgat parana bodhyanta parasparam katyantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is his expectation from us, that my devotees will always, their source of satisfaction and bliss comes by enlightening each other. They talk about me, katyantascha, they tell each other, they educate each other, and they, in this way, they get bliss and satisfaction when they discuss about me with each other. So now Rup Goswami is further giving us more practical understanding of what this means. So he's giving us again 6 sutras. So he's saying sharing gifts with each other. Okay, dadati pratigrinati. So give gifts to each other. Now, gifts doesn't mean in an obligatory sense like people do in material world. Not that way. This is done in a very sweet way, taking into consideration, this is not about money. This is not monetary gifts necessarily. This is not a show off of one's opulences or money. So a lot of times in material world, people do that. They lord over each other to show off their, money, etc. That's not what this is. This is a very sweet exchange where one can be offering, just something very, very small. It could be just a little reciprocation, just to show your, an expression from your heart, really, of your gratitude, of your friendship to the other person, of your love to the other person. So it doesn't have to be something very expensive, but it's just like, and if somebody offers you something, it's not that you immediately reject. A gift that is given by a devotee is actually something that people cherish their whole life. Like if somebody if a pure devotee like my Guru Maharaj or someone gives me something, that is something that one cherishes their whole life. It's not something to take lightly, actually. Like I remember one time our Guru Ma gave just like a little mitti of Raj. She just like put it in a very tiny little bottle and gave little mitti, and that's it. And that's all it, it's just a loving expression. With Prabhupada also used to do that, those little things, and people used to cherish those. It's just a little expression from one's heart. It's not a show. It's not a show off thing. Okay. So offering gifts in charity and accepting it. When somebody gives you, you accept it graciously. You don't reject it, because remember that it's an expression of their love, their friendship. So the one who gives is giving with pure intention, and the one who's accepting accepts not in the mood of enjoyer, not expecting anything. I did something for this person, so he needs to do something for me. No, not expecting anything. So you accept very humbly and not in the mood of enjoy. And even if somebody gives something expensive, you very hesitatingly accept. But if it can be used in service of Krishna, you may be okay to accept. But we don't accept gifts from people that are not, we are not asking to accept gifts from people that are maybe materialistic or not of the very pure consciousness. So a devotee's expression of love and affection is on a whole different platform completely. And this is not given with any expectations for a future return or with a future favor. Okay, if I give something to someone, they'll grant me a favor in future, so let me oblige them. No, not posing unnecessary obligations on anyone. So that's not the mood here. This is a very pure mood. Okay. So that is Dadati Pratigranati. And we will read the purport. I'm just giving a very quick synopsis of this verse. Guhyam Akyati Prichati. This is probably the most important on which we will, this aspect, these two principles will spend the most time, because this is something we all need to understand. Because Guhyam Akyati Prichati means to share confidences with each other, to share our heart with each other, our mind with each other, to share our limitations, our difficulties. Because, this path is difficult. Difficult as in, it's not difficult, but it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to lose focus. It's easy to get discouraged. So, and whenever we enter into the path of spirituality, we do, lose a little bit of our previous life. And so sometimes we need to discuss those things with other devotees. Our food might change a little, our attire might change a little, our habits might change, time management may be a little bit difficult, and there may be some conflicts. And most importantly, there are internal conflicts, like we are fighting with our anarthas. We have so many problems, so much baggage each and every individual is bringing with them when they enter on a spiritual path. So all those difficulties, etc., devotees need to share with each other. Because remember, we have to hold our hands together to walk this path. So, so in this way, people need encouragement. So that's when they may share their personal difficulties and limitations with you. So Guhyam Akyati Prichati. So you can also ask people about their difficulties, their problems. Sometimes people just need someone to hear, someone to just listen to them. And sometimes people are actually looking for some guidance with another trustworthy devotee. So that is Guhyam Akyati Prichati. Bhunkte Bhojayate. Bhunkte Bhojayate means to give prasadam to the devotee and to take prasadam from them. So when they invite you over or when they bring you prasadam, you accept it. Prasadam should always be accepted. And when you can, you should also offer prasadam to the devotees. So bhunkte bhojayate. So to feed, because prasadam is something that one can easily offer. It's the easiest thing one can offer to the devotees, and everybody eats 2-3 times a day or even more sometimes. So prasadam is something with which we can easily show our reciprocation, our love, our friendship, our gratitude to the other person. So through these 6 things, through gifts, through prasadam, and through sharing our heart and mind, one can show love with each other. One can grow their love with each other. And it is very important that we invest into these relationships with devotees, and we take some time out to actually nurture these relationships with devotees, because these are the people that will walk this walk with us, this path with us. So this is not a waste of time. This is actually time well spent when we invest into relationships. So we must invest into relationships. So Krishna consciousness is not like a dry path. You're going on a mountain and sitting in yoga and meditation, and not like that. This is about relationships. So these 6 loving exchanges, actually, this is very, very important for us. So let's read Prabhupada's purport. Who wants to read the first paragraph? Please take turns.
Hari Bol. Yes,
Hari Bol.
I can read.
Yes, go
Hari
ahead.
Bol. In
Go
this
ahead.
verse, Sarila Rup Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are 6 kinds of activities. First, giving charity to the devotees. Second, accepting from devotees whatever they may offer in return. Third, opening one's mind to the devotees. Fourth, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. 5. Honoring prasada or spiritual food given by the devotees. And 6. Feeding the devotees with prasada. On an experienced devotee explains and inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Guhyam Akhyati Prachati. When a devotee distributes prasada, remnants of the food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasada as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasada, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called Bhunkte Bhojyate Java. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So I think we already discussed this. There is beautiful saying. I think Mr. Ratan Tata spoke this actually. As you know, he recently departed. So he said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. So, and that is very important for us. So that actually this verse is probably one of the most important verses, because this is, like I said, A, B, C, D, E. Out of that, this is A, Association of Devotees. And we want to walk far. We want to walk far. This is not like a sprint. This is not like a 10-minute sprint. After a sprint, people get tired and they give up. But this is not something, this is a long race. This is a marathon. So you have to run slow and steady for a long time. So this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And so if you want to walk far, then you have to walk together. And whoever understands this basic principle will try to please other devotees, will try not to commit Vaishnava aparadh, will try to follow the Vaishnava etiquettes, will try to, like Prabhupada is saying here, invite devotees to your home, offer them prasad, please them, do seva. So Vaishnava seva, Vaishnava etiquettes, Vaishnava aparadh, all these terms, association of Vaishnavas has to be, done in a very sensitive manner. This has to be in a very delicate fashion. One has to deal with the Vaishnavas. So very, very important aspect of our journey, that we join hands with the devotees. Let's read further. Who wants to read? Maybe just read half of the next paragraph. Can someone read?
I can read.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Even in ordinary social activities, these 6 steps of dealings between two loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel and over the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his businessman how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti or love in intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees. Sang Tyagat Satovrata. The International Society of Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that the people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness.
Haribol. Anyone wants to read the second half of this?
I can read, Mataji.
I can read.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasada, although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society. They nonetheless come and take whatever little prasada we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchange among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita 2.62, it is stated, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.107, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabhunaya
Goes like this.
Shravanadi
Prema
Suddha Siddhe
Kabhunaya.
Karaye Uddhaya.
Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaye Udaya.
Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Udaya.
Okay, let's stop here. So let's discuss this a little, and I will pause early today so we can take some reflections and questions. We'll continue on this verse next time. So Prabhupada is giving us this understanding that, you know, even in the world, we see that people connect with each other, and they hold feasts, right? They invite people over, they invite them for dinner, take them out, feed them, and then present their ideas or share their have different type of exchanges with them. Presents may be exchanged, some gifts are given, like that. So same thing is done between devotees also, but except this is just for the pleasure, just for the seva of that devotee, just to get, you know, gratitude, just to show your humility, your servitude to that devotee, not for any material gain at all. So it has to be ahetuki. This reciprocation has to be ahetuki. Ahetuki means no hetu, no cause, unmotivated. The only motivation is that I want your mercy, I want your blessings, I want your continued association, and that's why I'm trying to please you with some humble offering, some humble prasadam, like that. And then Prabhupada is talking about the society at large. So this is, remember that the society is made up of people. So when people have these type of loving exchanges with each other, that makes the mood of the whole society. And that is what we see Prabhupada is saying in ISKCON. And that mood is then taken to the outer world, to the other people, ordinary people who are dealing with so many material difficulties. You know, you engage, you bring them into your fold of loving association and give them a taste of the love, actually, because what are devotees carrying in their heart? They're carrying Krishna in their heart. They're infused with Krishna's prem, with Radharani's prem. So that love, you know, when you can give even a little glimpse of that love, even a little spark of that love to ordinary jiva, it can fan the spark in his heart as well. So everybody's carrying the love in their heart. They have just forgotten. That's why Prabhupada is quoting this word, that Nitya Siddh Krishna Prema. Nitya Siddh, this Krishna Prema is eternally established in the heart of all living entities. It's already there. We are just uncovering it. Sadhya Kabunaya, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Udaya. So it can be, it's not something external that we are installing in somebody's heart. It's not like a software that I'm downloading into somebody's heart. It's already there. It just has been covered by the contaminations from, you know, past many lifetimes. So because of the conditioning of many, many lifetimes, that love has become covered so that they have forgotten their relationship with the Lord. But the relationship is there, the love is there. And by listening, hearing, and chanting with the devotees, hearing from the devotees, hearing the Harinam, hearing the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte, the Chitta, the consciousness will become Shuddh, will become pure. And the करे udaya, that love will arise again. वो फिर से उदय हो जाएगा. It will arise again. So it's not something artificial we are giving to people. They already have it in their heart. But by coming in contact with the beautiful love that devotees are carrying in their heart, their love will also be lighted up. There, जैसे दिए से दिया ऐसे जलाते हैं, so you will keep, spreading that love amongst ordinary people also, and they can get a glimpse of Krishna's prem. They can get a glimpse of the prem of our acharyas, of mercy of Prabhupada, compassion of Prabhupada. When they see that mercy, that compassion, that kripa in form of prasad, in form of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam Katha, in form of kirtan, because that's all we can give to people. So Prabhupada is being so humble here. Prabhupada is saying that whatever little we can give to the people, this is not little, but he's saying it, that whatever, look at this, he says whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books, this books is the life and soul of our entire, books are the basis. Prabhupada said that books are the basis. This is not humble, this is not little. Actually, this is the only thing that matters, that we are giving to people. Yet Prabhupada is saying here that whatever humble contribution we can make in the life of people, this is, and he says this again in a very humble way, whatever little prasad we are able to offer to them. Because remember, even a little prasad, it's much more than the lifetimes of materialistic food that people have consumed in their several lives. This little prasad has power to overcome all the impurities. And if you have gone to some of the feasts, like Sunday Love Feast, it's not a little prasad actually. It is a huge amount of feasting going on. So what we are giving to the world is actually, it's nobody can compete with that. It's nobody can, ever, what Prabhupada has given us, nobody can ever be enough grateful for that. There is no way to show our gratitude to Prabhupada. But still, little of this is very much more than what the world has to offer. So anyways, so when Prabhupada is saying, when these devotees go out in the world and exchange with ordinary people, ordinary men, when they associate with devotees, then their dormant Krishna consciousness will arise. Now, so coming back to the point of individual soul versus society. So the society is made of many people, and all these people are trying to exchange these loving relationships with each other. But the problem that happens sometimes is, please listen very carefully. This is very important for us to understand, because when we start our spiritual journey, we get very confused and bewildered by that. For example, when we come to ISKCON, we assume that everybody is a very advanced devotee or a very pure devotee. So first of all, remember that ISKCON is like a hospital, or for that matter, any institution, any spiritual institution, any group of people, they will all be on different level of consciousness. Not everybody will be very advanced. Everybody's on a different level of their journey, different rung of the ladder. So any spiritual institution is like a hospital where people have realized that they are sick, and they have now come to get admitted to cure their sickness. So at least these people know that they're sick. Now they are trying to get the treatment, but sometimes they fail. Sometimes their lower nature comes up. Sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they falter, they fall down. Sometimes they have difficulties. So their previous materialistic tendencies, they bring to the spiritual institution as well. And that may malign the name of the whole devotee community or the whole spiritual institution. And that is seen very commonly. But remember that the essence of the institution, the essence still stays, that that our philosophy is coming from Bhagavad Gita, that our philosophy teaches us to have these loving, beautiful relationships. But in any family, there can be difficulties. In any family, there can be conflicts. There can be people going through a stressful time, through a difficult times when they may not behave in the best way. So one of the illusion that we have to really overcome is the fact that no institution is perfect. It is made up of people, and people tend to err. To err is human, right? To err is human. We are not divine. We are trying to become divine. We are trying to embrace divinity. We're trying to connect to divinity, but to err is divine. So it's okay to give people second chance. It's okay to try to revive your relationship with people, and if you make a mistake, they will do the same for you. So when you make a mistake, you apologize very humbly to them, you try to revive your relationship, and you deal with people with even more care next time. Understand their limitations, understand the baggage that they're carrying, understand the anarthas that they have, understand that everybody has a different disease, and it's a hospital and everybody has a different disease. But the good thing about these people versus people outside the hospital is that at least these people know that they are sick and trying to do something about it. But the people outside the hospital are not even ready to believe that they are sick. So they're not even getting admitted to the hospital. At least these people know that they're sick and are trying to do something about it. So that, they are trying to connect to divinity. Now they may make mistakes, and their lower nature is being revealed to you because of such close connection, such intimate relationships. You're seeing their lower natures. Doesn't make them worse than materialistic people. So it doesn't mean we say, okay, we will leave the institution and stay with the materialistic world. Remember that this, in a family, there will always be difficulties. So it is our responsibility, to overcome these type of expectations of other people, where we think that everybody will behave like a pure, most advanced devotee, and if anybody makes any mistakes, we start becoming very critical. So we have to overcome that tendency. We are not, people are not pure devotees. Pure devotees are only very, like, 0.1%. Maximum people are just struggling. Maximum people are just trying to get better, but at least they're trying to get better. So we give them a benefit of doubt that they're trying to get better. But we have much more to talk about this. I will stop here. Let's hear from everybody. Let's see what they think. There are many points. We have to go deep into this verse on how to apply this dadati pratigrinati bhunkte bhojayate, and most importantly is actually sharing heart with each other. How much to share, who to share with, how to understand which person is worthy of our trust. Because like I was saying, this is like a hospital. There are people of different consciousness. So we need to have love for everyone, but whom to have relationship with, we have to be very cautious about that. So we have to be very careful, because some people have more lower tendencies than others. And if we want to advance, we associate with the people that are more advanced than us, that are more sincere than us, more invested into this path. And so we'll talk about some Vaishnava etiquette, some Vaishnava prad, and some gentle dealings with each other next time. But I want to hear from other devotees. Let's see, who wants to start? Nagarchan Prabhu, Shalja Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Namita Mataji, if you want to share.
Hare Krishna. So yes, a very important verse. Talks us about dealings, discusses the dealings with other devotees, and for, as you said, like, our mood is always that everyone is actually higher than us, because nobody knows our heart better than ourselves other than Krishna, right? So we need to focus on our bad qualities and good qualities of others, not the other way around. We should try not to focus on the bad qualities of others and good qualities of ourselves. To improve, we should first know that there is a problem, and then work on that. So in the devotee community, or any community actually, If because a devotee always feels others are better than us in terms of our anarthas are more, and that is why we need the help of other devotees to help us to get better. And these are the ways we can establish a relationship with others. um, Even in this material world, you have to work really hard on relationships. Even if you have a friend, then you have to over time work with them on the relationship. You have to give them time, you have to listen to them, you have to you will give them gifts sometimes or accept gifts. You'll have kind of the same things like Prabhupada is saying. In the material world also these things are going on, but in the spiritual world or in the devotee community, it is just slightly more pure and more not in a mood of getting favors. It's more in the mood of service. But how can I serve? Is so and any we always talk about this, that anything from the scriptures we apply the rules for ourselves, not for others. So that is important, that we should not point finger at saying, hey, this person is doing like this or not doing this. No, the rules apply for ourselves. That am I doing this is the question. So that is important to remember. But I think very nice points discussed today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else wants to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji, very nicely explained. Yeah, this is very, very important verse, as Mataji you suggested, and also Prabhuji. I think we have to work hard on this one. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, this is very hard because this is not the first three verses were about us. This is about our dealings with others, and dealings with others can get tricky based on the consciousness of other person, based on previous experiences, understandings, and perception of other person. So it is not a so ISKCON, like I was saying, or any spiritual institution is not like a utopia. You understand? You know the term utopia, like a spiritual world where everything is perfect. We want everything to be perfect. Everything perfect is possible in Vaikuntha, right? Where there is no kuntha, there is no misery. Vaikuntha means no kuntha, no misery, no conflict, no hypocrisy. But we are still living in this material world, and we have this little spiritual sanctum, you can say, where we are trying to have our little small area of spirituality. But still material world seeps in, material consciousness seeps in. People are working, they go out into the world. So a lot of times we bring our material nature, our conflicts, our consciousness into the spiritual world also, and we have very materialistic dealings with with devotees. So devotees who are trying to spiritualize themselves, sometimes we have materialistic dealings with them. So same things that we were doing outside in the rest of the world, we bring in this little spiritual sanctum of ours and pollute it. So we bring that consciousness, lower nature, into this place also, this pure place. With these pure people also, we tend to do that. We tend to lie or tend to cheat or try to lord it over them, try to minimize their contribution, try to take credit, try to not give them credit, try to um, uh, find faults or criticize or gossiping or make fun, whatever, those kind of things that we were doing in the outside world. Different people are doing different things, so you take your pick. But we bring those type of tendencies into our spiritual institution or spiritual community, spiritual gatherings also, and we pollute it. So it's like bringing a bad smell, just like oh, it's said in English, right? Who dragged the cat? What did the cat drag in, or something like that? So cat dragged in something very, dirty, like a dead mouse or something. So we bring our own dead mice from the world into the house, into our little sanctified house. So like the house cat will bring a dead mouse from outside. So what did the cat drag in? She brought a dead mouse from outside. So sometimes we also bring a dead mice of dirty, polluted consciousness and lower nature from outside, and pollute the community, pollute the mood of the community, of the devotees. So be very careful. It's like devotees don't eat onion garlic, right? Now, let's say somebody brought, या फिर कोई कुछ ऐसा ले आए, meat ki dish le aaye, ya very bad smelling garlicky dish le aaye. So all the devotees will like close their nose and be running around here and there. They'll pinch their nose. So like that, you imagine that when you do that, you're bringing something very dirty, very smelly, something into the midst of pure people. So we have to be very careful. And like Nagachand Prabhu was saying, so first of all, before finding faults with other, find faults with yourself and try to purify yourself. If everybody uplifts their own consciousness, we all have to work on ourselves. We have no control over others. We can only control ourselves. So if we control ourselves, if we try to uplift ourselves, upgrade our own consciousness, that's where sadhana comes in. Daily sadhana, daily hearing, daily reading. That's how upgrade your own consciousness. And so that when you are in the community of devotees, you'll be able to control more. And there will always be provoking situation. Even in the midst of devotees, there will be provoking situations. There will be situations where you will have to let things, some remarks and all slide. You don't need to gossip about it. We don't need to spread it around. Ki usne ye kaha, usne wo kaha, usne ye kiya, wo kiya. No, we don't. Just tolerate it. Just let it slide. Just give benefit of doubt. Just forgive, move on. Just tolerate with patience and forgiveness and love, and just move on. So like that, and that will be reciprocated, because you will also make mistakes. You will also make some. I wrote an article I will publish today. You'll make some faux pas. Faux pas means a foolish mistake. Faux pas एक term है, which means a foolish, embarrassing mistake. So every of us, we will make an error one day or the other. It's not a matter of if we make an error. It's a matter of when we make an error. We will all inevitably make an error in this world. So we will make a fool of ourselves. We will make an embarrassing mistake, a very foolish mistake. So when you let other people's mistakes and and some foolish things slide here and there, just tolerate and just let it go, then they will also let it go when the time comes. But of course, sometimes, and we also need to know when to set boundaries. Sometimes we do have to set boundaries. If it is a repetitive behavior on some devotee's part, then that can actually cause harm to the institution, to the devotee community, to the Prabhupada, to his teaching. So then we have to take action. We have to be strict. So sometimes some devotees have a pattern. If there is a pattern, then one has to be intelligent enough to recognize those patterns of certain behaviors. And it could be behavior related to their competence, their, certain anarthas or whatever, certain tendencies, lower natures, that there is a pattern where they keep repeating the mistake. It's not just like a foolish mistake or just something embarrassing or something happened. It's a repetitive behavior. Then you may have to take action. You may have to set boundaries or limit your connection, limit your attachment with some devotees like that. But again, remember that they're all dealing with their problems, so you just pray for them and maintain a respectful distance. So there are many aspects to this. More practical things we will talk about next time with examples and all. We will talk about, we'll take some examples from best examples come in Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually, Mahaprabhu and Goswami's dealings with different people. So we will take some of those examples. But we have to know when to draw boundaries, when to support, when to help and encourage, when to give support, when to receive support, whom to give support to, whom to receive support from. So in this way, and all these aspects of confidentiality, just like doctor-patient confident, like I'm a physician, so there is always doctor-patient confidentiality. Similarly with devotees also, when they share their heart and mind with you, then that's for your ears only. It's not like you go and share about with everybody in the community and make not only a fool of yourself, but a fool of that other person also, who will never trust you again. So there is a breach of trust. So in this way, many things to guard yourself very strongly against Vaishnava Prad and deal very gently. It's like an earthen pot. जैसे मिट्टी का घड़ा होता है ना, अगर वो टूट जाएगा तो वो टूट जाएगा, and it will be difficult to put it back together. It will not. It will have marks on it, and you will have to deal with it even more gently in future. So be very careful. We are careful with our relationships even in this world, but in this world, if you have problems, you get, let's say, sinful reactions. But worse than sin, worse than pap is Vaishnav Aparad. So when we bring that sinful tendency in the devotee community, we not only are making sinful mistakes, sinful tendencies that we brought here, we are now getting aparad. So we are now playing in a big league. So we are playing on the next level. And पहले हम अपराध पाप करते थे छोटे लेवल पे, अब हम डिवोटी कम्युनिटी में आके बड़े लेवल पे पाप करते हैं. That's not what we need to do. So be very careful. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले छोटे लेवल पे खेलते थे, अब बड़े लेवल पे खेलेंगे और बड़े बड़े अपराध करेंगे. Because a pap can be erased, eradicated with many things. There are many pious ways to eradicate the pap or sinful reactions, but aparad is very difficult to eradicate actually. So all right, so we will talk about those more practical, gentle dealings next time. Yes,
Hare-
Nagarjuna.
Yes, I just had a realization when you were mentioning this, that how in this material world we say that playing the devil's advocate. That so same way when we are dealing with devotees, we have to play the Krishna's advocate, right? Give the benefit of the doubt to the other person. That that's fine. That's their whatever is going on. They may be in a difficult situation. There may be so many other things that we are not aware of, and play Krishna's advocate. That think given to the higher nature rather than the lower nature. Hare Krishna.
Nice realization. Yeah. Perfect. Anybody else wants to share? Okay, so let's stop for today. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm just going to pause the recording. We'll take some more questions after that. Vanchakalptarubhishya kripa sindhuve vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Shri Updeshamrit ki jai. Srila Rup Goswami ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna.